You know, we all go through a lot of stress, especially these last year or two. The Bible calls it tribulation, stress, mental pressure. There's a lot of things that make it tough just to live your life. A lot of Christians have started out with the idea that once you're born again, once you're saved, everything's just going to go, there's going to be smooth sailing. But no, Jesus never said that. In fact, he warned us in John chapter 16. He says, "These things I have spoken unto you, that ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world." That's the beautiful thing. You know, we're not promised a bed of roses, but we are promised a way of making our way through life, a way of living according to the Word of God. And to that end, in Ephesians, Paul, in the great epistle about the church and the mystery and the body of Christ, Paul describes what's called the armor of God. And as he starts out, "Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord." And that means not just yourself. You got to be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So let me take a moment here and say that there's no one piece that can be dispensed with. Every part of the armor is necessary. If you were to lose one piece in battle, that would allow you to be vulnerable in that one particular area. So even if you were good with a sword and a shield, if you didn't, for example, have your helmet on, you'd have a vulnerability. So we're encouraged to put on the whole armor of God. And the reason is for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities and powers, against the spiritual wickedness in high places, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. That's our reality. You know, we often think that, or it seems like we're opposing people. You know, the person who's giving you a hard time at the checkout counter, the various difficulties you have with people you work with, your boss giving you a hard time. These all look like they're human interactions, and of course they are. But the fact is the real battle, the real work that we have to do is spiritual. And so you can't fight a spiritual battle with physical tools and physical armor. So we're going to be describing the spiritual armor that Jesus said, okay, that Jesus warned us about, the tribulation. "Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, your feet shod with the gospel of peace. Above all, taking on the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. And take on the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints." The actual fighting, much of the fighting we're doing happens between our ears, where we have to resist, of course, the temptations and frustrations that the world gives us, and by the world I mean the spiritual powers, the devil. And one of the great ways of fighting is through prayer, making supplications for all the saints, that we are all strong. There's another spot where these things are talked about. It says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, "But let us who are of the day," or the light, "be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation." You know, a helmet, let's focus on this one particular article of armor that sometimes gets ignored. We all know about the shield of faith and the sword of the Spirit. We can emphasize those. But a helmet protects the head. In other words, spiritually, the helmet of salvation protects the mind, the hope that one day we will be out of all this tribulation, and that also that the understanding of that the guilt of our sin and our rejection of God prior to us coming to him has all been forgiven. We're sort of in between. We had a point in our lives before we were saved, before we came to the Lord, where we were without sin and hope. Now we have the assurance of salvation. We have the forgiveness of sins. We have the ability to be healed by Christ's stripes. We were healed. We have a lot of things right now, but we also have the hope that someday, when Christ returns, we will have everything. Paul says that the exceeding weight of glory far exceeds this momentary conflict and tribulation that we have to see, that we have to live with. And like I said, the helmet protects the mind. It allows us to have faith. When we have a clear conscience, when we have hope in our lives, then we can also exercise faith. In Proverbs it says, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine." If you suffer from some kind of ailment, you should renew your mind. You should focus on all those good things that God has already done for you and understand that he will deliver. It's a lot easier to remain faithful and to trust God when you're not condemning yourself too, when you realize that all your sins have been forgiven. Don't be afraid of the conflict, though. Like I said, we are in a spiritual conflict, but in Philippians it says, "And in nothing terrified by your adversaries, which is to them an evident token of their destruction." The devil knows he's been defeated, but he's just but all he can do now is harass and, of course, keep people from being born again, keep people from the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay? But to you, it is a token of salvation. So, you can have hope when you actually are in conflict, when you actually get that opposition of the devil. Understand that it is a sign of your salvation, is a sign that you're a danger to him, that you have the ability to be an ambassador for Christ. So just don't be terrified by your adversaries. Just two quick Bible stories. Every time or very often when Jesus confronted a person who either needed their sins forgiven or they needed great healing, Jesus said to go in peace, that your faith has made you whole. The wholeness, that healing or that forgiveness of sin, that ability to be saved, that will bring you hope and peace. And remember, it's not from our works. It's not that we have done. If I had to depend on what I did, well, I'd be in total despair, and probably a lot of us would have the same idea. But no, the work was done by the Lord Jesus Christ. He has taken care of all that is necessary to give our salvation. Okay, pardon me for just a second then. Jesus now, he's not just a one and done Savior. Every moment, every day, he intercedes for each of us with the Father. It says in Hebrews chapter 7, "Wherefore he is able to save them to the uttermost that come unto God by him, seeing he liveth forever to make intercession for them. Have peace with God. Know that God loves you. Know that he has forgiven your sins because of the work of the Lord Jesus Christ and not anything that you've done. But have confidence that this same Lord Jesus Christ who won our salvation continues to intercede for us every day. That will give you the hope, and again, it'll give you the confidence so that you can build faith and use the entire armor of God.